Okay, I believe that we're live right now, and we should be feeding out to the folks out there. If you're out there, if you can hear me loud and clear, let me know. I appreciate everyone who's joining. I know this is not this is totally unplanned. Lola and I were taking this whole week off from the podcast to get a lot of other stuff done, as well as spend time with our kids and for Thanksgiving. We've got a 20 and a 21-year-old, two boys, and they're out of college, so they're home. We wanted to spend time with them. There's been a lot of news and things like that, though, coming out, I guess, this week. I guess in some cases that's kind of like strategic, right? It's kind of a strategic thing that that some people do to drop this news during Thanksgiving, let's say, when lots of folks are out there, spending time with their families. So shout out to everyone who's out there. I am going to take questions since it's just me. Lola is over here. So let me first of all give everyone the title of this if you're tuning in live to this. I'm going to let this live on the channel. This is my main Hank Strange channel, and it's not on Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded where we put the podcast, because I don't really see this as a podcast, and I think going live is the best way to do it. So we're entitling this, What's Going On with Braces and the ATF Now. There's obviously been some news that's been put out there over the last 24 hours from Ammoland News and John Crump, who is a writer over at Ammoland News, and it's regarding SB Tactical. So there's a lot of different questions, I think, that people have, because that article came out, I'm going to say around 10 or 11 o'clock last night, Lola? About 11 o'clock last night. That went live. And as you guys know, I do have a relationship with Ammoland News. I sometimes write articles for them, but I don't consider myself a journalist. I'm just a gun guy. I really consider myself an advocate for you guys, and we'll get into that, because I do have some talking points here, as well as, I'm going to answer you guys' questions. But I consider myself an advocate. I do write articles for Ammoland News. I do things with John Crump, as well as I have interviewed Alex Bosco of SB Tactical several times. We've had him on the podcast, and I've done a complete separate interview of Alex for Ammoland News. Okay, so I just want you guys to know that. And if you're looking for those things, you might have a hard time finding them, because YouTube actually completely demonetized those videos and then suppressed them. What I can do here is roll in my this is my main channel, and it's called A Conversation with Alex Bosco, SB Tactical. It's about 51 minutes. It's very detailed. You will also see there's some videos here like this, Kevin Brittingham of QLLC and Alex Bosco. So that's an entire podcast. That's 2 hours. I believe that Alex joined us there for about an hour. That's that he gave us his time, and he's had a lot to say about this. And I've also put out snippets as well. So there's a lot, I feel like, to cover here. There's a lot. But I just want to say this. From my conversations, and I spoke to John Crump, Ammoland News, the writer of that article. I also spoke to Brian, one of the owners of Ammoland News, about that article, because it has been drastically changed from what was published last night. Also this morning, Alex Bosco called me, because obviously I made a post. For full disclosure, anyone who wants to see my post that I made, I could probably go to that, right, Lola?
You can.
And so here I'm going to roll in my Instagram, and it's Hank Strange for anyone who wants to know. I've posted several things over the last couple of days. I posted some stuff about what was going on with Black Rifle, Black Rifle Coffee. I posted something about what's happening. So that's what that is right there. And then I posted something about what's happening with Apple, because Apple actually got caught out there trying to bribe the sheriffs in a California county so that they can get concealed weapons permits. So that was a little crazy. And obviously I posted on this. So this is what I posted last night. And there's a specific reason why when I post these little meme things, with my Bitmoji that you guys see there, that I try to like cut in stuff from the news because it might change. So Ammoland's title last night was ATF singles out 23 SB tactical firearms braces that do not have determination letters. That's what they put up there. And you can see what I put up there. And then if you look at it, you can see I amended it because I said there's an update, but I left everything in there that I said, right? Because when I say things, I don't really believe in taking back what I said. I would rather come out and say, okay, I'm going to amend this now based on new information. So I said, this sucks big time, really bad news, shocked and astounded by this article and what it appears that SB Tactical has done. And I put in an excerpt. It says the ATF reports claim that July 2018 letter, SB Tactical has continued to market these accessories as ATF compliant, which has essentially left SB Tactical's business partners in the position where they are unknowingly manufacturing and marketing unregistered NFA firearms. And then, I put a link and all that kind of stuff, right? And just to continue with that, this morning it changed. The headline changed to ATF issues conflicting documents on legal pistol braces, right? So, and there's an editor's note there that says this story has been edited to include additional facts that have come to light since we first posted. And so my take on all that stuff is that this is what I can see. If you look at what's been going on here, and I'm gonna pull up a page on Ammoland News to show you guys my point that I want to make to you here. Okay, so this is John Crump. If you go to Ammoland News and you search John Crump, this is who he is. It says about John Crump. John is an NRA instructor and a constitutional activist. He's the former CEO of Veritas Firearms LLC. He's a host of, and it goes on to say all this stuff, right? If you know John, he works with GOA. He also works with Ammoland. He's a patriot. And so here's this article that he wrote, and it's modified, and it shows other articles here. And the reason why I'm going back, he's been getting leaks from the ATF now for some time. And one of them is right here. It says, I'll open it for you if you guys have not seen this. I've talked about all of these articles on the podcast, by the way. It says, unaccountable ATF heads colluding with Biden transition team to ban pistol braces. The time on that is November 10th. The time today is November 25th. This article came out last night. So John has been reporting on what's happening with the ATF in regards to pistol braces. And right there, he's saying that the Biden camp called up the ATF and said, give us your wish list of what you want to go after. And the ATF, the acting director, Regina Lombardo, said, braces and 80% lowers. Facts. Okay? That's what they want to go. That's what they want to go after. And John's been doing a lot of work on this. Now, if we want to go back to the article that these guys actually changed and what it is, I'll show you guys briefly. I'm happy to read the whole thing if folks out there really want to read that. But I want to make sure that we're being very clear here because there's some stuff I want to talk to you guys about. Here's the editor's note. It says this story has been edited to clarify previous comments and includes additional facts that have come to light since we first posted. The ATF's confusing and contradictory approval process is an evolving story, and we will continue to update and inform our readers as we get better information. Despite rumors, there is no known official change to the ATF policy as it relates to the legality of pistol braces. So the reason why I'm trying to say this to you, when I spoke to the guys over at Ammoland that actually run things over there, who I spoke to told me that they changed this article because they felt like everyone was going into panic mode, and people were like, okay, hold on a second. Do I have to turn in my braces? Do I have to take it off the guns? What do I have? Can I buy these things? Are they legal to buy? And they wanted to make sure that everyone was clear on the fact that, you can still go out and buy these things. Now, I'm telling you all of this. The reason why I called them up, and I just want everyone to know why I called them up. Okay, I'm interested like I said to you guys, I'm an advocate, and I'm an advocate for you all. That's the way I look at it. And I'm gonna run in my talking points to you guys here so you can see it. Let me pull that up, Lola. Okay, so I just want to share this with everyone so everyone knows what my talking points are here. The first question I have in my talking point is, do you want to be lied to? Okay, that's the first question. And I'm going to go through all these things. And the second one is, there's 3 basic points in this. The truth, there's SP Tactical side, and there's the ATF side. And the truth is somewhere in the middle. And the third point, which I already made, all of this is happening on a holiday break. And then the fourth point, I've already made that as well. I've spent lots of time in the last weeks talking to SB, Q, and John of Ammoland about the ATF braces. The fifth one, the ATF should be abolished. It's an affront to the Second Amendment. I believe that. The sixth one I want to talk about here for a second. I don't consider myself an influencer. I consider myself, there's a typo there, but I consider myself an advocate for the 2A and folks who don't have access or a voice. And that's really, really important to me. And I want to tell you guys what I mean by that. Like, I don't know, I know companies, I know people who own companies. I like those people, but I'm working for you all. I don't work for those companies. There are companies that sponsor the podcast. There are companies that sponsor this channel, okay? But I work for you guys because the way I see it, lots of folks out there don't have the access that I may have, right? Lola and myself have spent 7 years creating content, going to shows, spending a lot of money, buying guns, doing all this stuff, traveling out places, and we have relationships with these guys, but we can help you through that. And I want everyone to know that, like, whenever I'm dealing with stuff, and I don't know what anyone else does, and I'm not trying to come down on anyone else out there, but what I'm trying to do is be an advocate for the people who support me. There's people who don't support me, whatever. I'm like, whoever's here now actually watching this live video because they saw on a notification that it's Hank Strange. All the people who contact me directly, I give out a phone number on my phone. Okay, all the people who get in touch with me through social media, the folks who I meet out there that I make face-to-face contact with, I'm fighting for you guys. So I don't care about the ATF. I feel like they shouldn't exist. I do care about the companies. I want them to make better products. I want them to compete with each other and make these things more affordable. Okay?
Americans.
Huh?
And employ Americans.
Yeah, I want them to employ Americans. I care about their employees. There's lots of conversation here about the employees of SB Tactical. Obviously, if everyone panics right now and does not support SB Tactical, there's over 200 employees that will immediately suffer from this. But at the end of the day, I want everyone to realize, like, the idea of influencer doesn't bother, it bothers me, right? It's not what I consider myself, because I think a lot of these companies, when I deal with them, and I'm not saying SB Tactical or any of the companies that we're talking about here, but a lot of the companies out there have this idea that we're influencers. And what they think that means is that we're like whores. We can push you all. This is what they mean by influencer. I can push you guys, and they're only interested in me pushing you to buy something. That's not my intention. Okay, I don't want to push you guys to buy things. I think that I need to tell you guys the truth. I think if there's something wrong with a firearm, I need to let you know before you drop your hard-earned money on it, and then when you buy it and you have to sell it, you take a loss or you hurt yourself. Okay? I think in this example of what we're talking about here, that you are more at risk, even though I do consider and I do care about the employees at these companies, you're more at risk. There's at least 4 million people out there, myself included, that when I spoke to the owner of Ammoland, he was like, I have these things on my guns. John, same thing. You, same thing, right? So we are at risk if this becomes an issue, that we could potentially become criminals, we can lose our rights, and all kinds of stuff can happen from that. So I'm not trying to panic anyone. I want you guys to be made aware of the truth. There are some people out there that are not interested in that. Some people are interested in selling you stuff, and then the rest can be figured out later once they've moved the inventory and all that. So I'm not making that accusation to SB Tactical or any other companies out there, but I'm just trying to say that this is all what we're dealing with right now. Millions of dollars involved, employees involved. And so this is why we might see some things changing. Okay? But at the end of the day, what's important here is the truth. And for us to sift through the truth so we know. So we know. I would personally say to you all out there, if you ask me, if you say, Hank, should we get rid of our braces? Should we hide them? Should we lose them in a boating accident? Should we take them off the guns? Should we not use these guns? Should we buy these things? I would say, as is being said here by SB Tactical and Ammoland News, that the ATF has not changed the policy yet. But I would also say to you, as John has been reporting, the ATF intends to do something about this, okay? And the Biden administration intends to do something about this. And as we're sitting right now, what's today, the 25th? The 25th of November, I am pretty sure in the coming days that Trump is going to relent and congratulate Biden on his win, and the transition will continue. It's not what I want. I don't want that. I voted for Trump, okay? But I am a realist, and I've told you guys things that Trump's done that I don't like, because at the end of the day, it's us out there, it's us against them, it's us against the government, including the ATF, it's us against the companies, okay? And I know there's people that are saying right now, like I see there's some people that are really mad at John Crump. I know he's been accused of doing a hit piece, and I just want to say that is not the reality. The guy that we all know that spends a lot of his time fighting for the Second Amendment did not do a hit piece to take out a company. Okay? What happened was there was a FOIA release. So that means that the ATF didn't give up this information. They made a FOIA request, and this information was given to them by the government. So, I mean, we can take that with a grain of salt. Maybe we should think about what they didn't tell us or what they didn't give us. But there's more of this coming, and John has been doing a lot of hard work on this. Okay, so I know that there's some people that are saying, well, he should have given SB Tactical more time to respond to this and all that kind of stuff. And I think, you can't argue with that, right? That's probably valid. I mean, at the end of the day, I've never, ever found Alex to be disingenuous. That's why even I was upset that, hey, what's going on here? If they've known for 2 years that the ATF thinks that not the initial braces they did, but the new braces is a problem. Why are they selling it? Why is every company out there licensing this and putting it on their guns? The thing that Alex told me this morning when he called me, and he's away on vacation with his family, okay? And the thing that he said is that, I'm going to ask you the opposite side of that question. He's like, if I was lying for 2 years, if I knew that the ATF, by the ATF's rules, that these braces were considered stocks, and I didn't tell anyone about it, what's up with the ATF? What have they been doing for 2 years, right? Like, how come for the last 2 years they didn't roll up on SB Tactical? How come they didn't raid them? How come they didn't go in there and say, you're under arrest, you're enabling people to sell illegal, to make and sell illegal SBRs? Why didn't they go after all the other companies? Why didn't they do that? And you know what I said? I told Alex, I was like, you know what, man? What am I supposed to say to that? Right? It's the ATF. We know what they do. So if their claim is valid and true, and they know something wrong has been going on for 2 years, what have they been doing? On those grounds alone, Trump should fire everyone at the ATF today. Right? If that's the facts, then they're admitting in this FOIA request, because they didn't want this information out there. And it's very important to parse that in everyone's mind. This is not something that they wanted out there. This information had to be released. So, and I believe this is why Ammoland is adjusting this thing. And I just want everyone to know that. Okay? And there's probably going to be more stuff coming here. But if If they knew, if they saw that SB Tactical was doing something wrong, why didn't they do something about it? You know, the thing is, the first time we heard of this is when they went after Q. Okay? And even let's take this further. Let's say the ATF was like, okay, these guys are doing the wrong thing, and now we see all these companies doing it. Why didn't they notify the companies? Why didn't they say to these guys, hey, guess what? That SB Tactical is licensing stuff to you guys that they should not be. Now, if you go back and you look at my videos, there's a particular video, I think it's called
Setting Standards.
Yeah, Setting Standards, where we're talking with Alex and we're talking to Q. What is it, Kevin? We're talking to Kevin, and it's called, what's it called later, Lola? Setting Standards for Pistol Braces with ATF, Q, and QLLC. And Alex says in there that he's been trying for years to talk to the ATF about setting standards so that he knows. Because here's the thing that's happening. Now the ATF says every time you make an accessory that goes on a firearm, that's what the pistol brace is. If you make an accessory that goes on a firearm, they want that to be submitted to them on a firearm, right? They want you, that's expensive. That's an expensive thing. Even if you're a bigger company like SB Tactical, that's expensive because now you have to put whatever kind of firearm you intend this to be on. You have to have that firearm. You have to put the brace on there. You have to send that into the ATF, and they go, guess what? This is wrong. We don't like this one. Come again. So Alex was saying that he's been telling them, look, you guys have to set standards. So that way, when we make something, we know how to make it so we don't waste millions of dollars. And no matter what we do, we keep submitting stuff to you and you keep going, no. Oh, different administration. Now you've got cover to do whatever you want to us. No soup for you. And that makes perfect sense. I cannot argue with that logic. This is what they should do, or they should not exist. They are not in the business of putting the firearms industry out of business, right? They have a responsibility to say to us, these are the standards for the pistol brace. They approved by their own acknowledgement 2 forms of the pistol brace, and Alex has been asking them for a long time to set standards so that manufacturers out there, so some young person out there, some new company who says, oh wait, I have a genius idea for this brace, and they make a prototype, and then they spend the money to buy a gun and send it into the ATF. They don't just keep getting rejected over and over again and then go out of business before they ever start. And that's the crux of all of this. I would admit that this is probably something that caught SB Tactical off guard. I've said it from the beginning that this happened over this holiday break. This information is coming out. I don't believe that Ammoland News was the only company that was going to go to print on this. That there's other companies. I see that. So, for example, I can show you guys right now, just one example here. Recoil has put out an article, right? So here, let me run that in. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so Recoil has an article out here. There it goes. It says, brace yourself, this isn't over. And it goes into this whole conversation of the braces and what's going on. And like, but wait, there's more. I'm going to save you guys from going through all of this. I'm just using this as an example to say to folks out there who want to jump all over Ammoland News or John Crump for delivering this information to us, ask yourself, do you want to know the truth or do you want to be lied to? Do you want to be treated like a child, or are you an adult? Are you an American? Okay, do you have the Second Amendment? Do you have the Constitution or not? And I just want to know the truth. So that the truth allows me to ask tough questions to the company. and then the company can respond to me. And then when they respond, I can look at them and look at that company and who they are and say, you know what, these are good guys. I believe what they're saying. Or I could go, you know what, these guys are a little shady. When it comes to SB Tactical, I do not find Alex to be shady at all. Okay, when we reached out to him, he responded to us. He did an interview. When this whole thing blew up, he did it. Same thing with Kevin from Q. You know, he reached out, he came on, he talked exhaustively to you guys. I don't find these guys to be bad guys. They are patriots. The bad guys here are the ATF, and I just believe that that's what ultimately we should all focus on. I know there's folks out there that have a consideration that I think is valid, that we're maybe going to eat each other alive here, and we're going to attack each other, and we're going to give license to the ATF to do something. Well, let me just say this. First of all, in regards to giving license to the ATF, Biden has already done that. Biden has already given them license to go after braces and 80% lowers and all of that. The rest of us have to decide where's our line in the sand. At what point are we going to stop complying? And my suggestion to you is it's right here. If it's ever been here, it's here now. At some point, we have to say, no, done with that. Not going to do that anymore. So I think Lola shared the link to that Setting Standards interview. Lola is here with me. Thanks for that. I know I'm probably like running on. I want to, we're, what's this? This is the update?
This is the SB response and their call to action.
Yeah, so I think here, I can read it, but actually I could throw it up because one of the things that Ammoland did was they adjusted their article to include SB Tactical's response, and I'll go there because that's just I'm just doing it because it's the easiest place. But you can go to SB Tactical and see their response. So here it goes. It says update 11/25/2020. That's today, and response from SB Tactical. SB Tactical is aware that in response to FOIA requests from third parties, ATF has released internal documents that confirm the existence of an effort to malign and reclassify products used by millions of law-abiding Americans. Among those documents is an incomplete, redacted criminal evaluation that SB Tactical has never seen before and which contains multiple inaccuracies. Contrary to the letter's baseless accusation about SB Tactical's marketing, SB Tactical has never and would never mislead its customers. SB Tactical has been working with ATF and DOJ for years and has sought determinations from the agency about the status of its products as applied to particular firearms. ATF's false and irrelevant statements are sadly consistent with an activist and lawless ATF that refuses to engage SB Tactical or manufacturers on the legal status of accessories used by millions. SB Tacticals finds the motives and actions of the ATF to be arbitrary and capricious. Once again, SB Tactical encourages you to reach out to the White House and ask President Trump to roll back the ATF's agenda while he still can. Good luck with that. I'm pretty sure that Trump has other stuff going on, but I think what we need to, what we need to do here, and I just want to make sure I get that out. What we need to do here is we need to focus on what's going on here. Are we going to allow the ATF to run wild? Regardless of Trump can't do anything. This is my thing, and I know some people might get mad at me for this, right? Trump had 4 years, and the Republicans had that same time. And in the beginning, they had a supermajority. And there's lots of things that they didn't focus on. And one of those major things that they did not focus on was the Second Amendment. Okay? They had an opportunity to do things about this. They had an opportunity to replace these idiots at the ATF, and they never did it. To rein in the ATF, they never did it. And so that's why we're here now. So I think ultimately, to me, the point that I'm coming to, and I don't know where you guys are, but I'm at the point where I'm over that. I'm not registering anything. I'm not destroying anything. I'm not turning anything in. I'm not giving anything up. That's the way I see that. And whatever that implies, whatever comes out of that, I guess we're at the point now that whatever. We just have to deal with it. The truth of the matter is, you get caught out there by yourself with these people, yeah, You may catch charges, you may lose all your guns and all that kind of stuff. That's the reality. But I think that we are stronger together. I would agree with people who are saying that. But I think that we have to just stop saying shit like that, right? What does that mean? Oh, we all got to be together. We can't eat each other on this. Okay, that sounds nice. What are we actually doing to organize and to push back against these things and prepare ourselves for what's coming at us? What are we doing? You know? Kevin Niven gave us a super chat. Thanks, Kevin Niven. I appreciate that. I think we just need to ask ourselves that question. Exactly what are we doing? Because we can't control the politicians. We can't control the government bureaus, right, and bureaucracy. We don't have anything over that. But we have the Constitution and the Second Amendment. And at the end of the day, that's all paper. That's all an idea. We have to actually back that up. And if we really want to back that up, we have to ask ourselves exactly what are we doing about that? Other than going out and buying guns and stuff like that and loading up our magazines, which, okay, fine. But what else are we doing to actually get together and fight back against things? And I think that when people, I know I'm not saying this is everyone, but there's some people out there who are saying that we should not talk about these things. We should not let people know that this is going on behind the scenes. And I just want to say to you all, I very strongly disagree with that. You all need to know what's happening. We need to communicate. We need to, we need to prepare for what's happening here, and we need to be made aware of stuff. I do not want to be treated like a child, and I'm sure you all don't want to be treated like children. You want to get this stuff straight. And then you want to be able to make decisions yourself. If that includes giving a hard time to the companies, or you go, oh, you know what? I'm not really going to buy that thing. Whatever it is, so be it. So be it. I believe that you need to know that. So I'm just going to go back to my points here, and then I'm going to probably turn it over to the folks. I just want to make sure I'm hitting these points, and I'll show everyone. No official policy change at ATF in regards to braces from SB Tactical or otherwise, so there's no one that's gotten anything that's been notified of this, including SB Tactical. So I just want you guys to consider that. If the info published by Ammoland comes from a FOIA request, not from ATF, and in regards to it being a hit piece, Ammoland did not intend that. They support SB Tactical, and that's why they refined the article, and there will be more stuff coming like that, so you guys should prepare for that. SB Tactical has been publicly trying to get the ATF to clarify rules for braces. And number 11, and I'm going to restate this again, us talking about this is a good and important thing. Anyone who wants to get out there with the narrative that we're not allowed to talk about this, you're just as bad as YouTube shadow banning this video. Or Instagram or Twitter doing that. If you're trying to tell me that I'm not allowed to talk about this, you're just as bad as those guys. The people deserve to know. And then they are grown up enough to do stuff with it. Okay, maybe some of them are not grown up, right? Maybe some people are going to do some stupid things. Okay, whatever. You still have the right to do that. I refuse to be a person who knows that this is happening to you and knows that this may affect you, and I refuse to tell you. I do care about the employees at all these companies, and I've been trying for years to get these companies to pay attention to the Second Amendment. SB Tactical, I think, is one of those. Q is one of those that have been doing that. There's lots of other big... Yeah, Franklin Armory. There's companies out there that have been doing that, but there are companies that behind the scenes don't give a crap. And I just have to say that for those companies, I'm not going to feel sorry for their employees if they lose their job because of something that the company is doing. I don't mean that in regards to SB Tactical. I'm just trying to tell you guys that ultimately it's more important for you to get information and then be able to deal with that. Because let's think about this. If this information didn't come out, we wouldn't be having this conversation and we wouldn't be made aware that things may happen. Now we know. So now we could do something about it. Okay, so I know there's I don't know, looks like there's 150 people hanging out here right now. I would ask everyone to smash the thumbs ups. I appreciate that. I appreciate whatever support you guys want to give me here. But please smash the thumbs ups and ask away. Ask questions if you have questions. Lola, I don't know, do you have any questions? Are there comments and things? I know you said that there were some people that were making comments on the actual article from Ammoland asking why it was changed, right?
There were some comments about how it had changed so much from the initial report. But, obviously the answer you've already answered.
Yeah, and I did, and if you guys want to know, I did call up Ammoland, the owner that I know and I have his number for, and I asked him point blank, right, Lola?
Yes.
I called him up and I said, I want to know if you're censoring John Crump. And they told me no. Okay? They told me no, that's not what they're doing, that they're trying to be as fair, as balanced as possible on this thing, and they want people to get this information. That's what they told me. Everyone else can take that, but just know that I called them on that. Okay, that's who I am. That's why a lot of times I get in trouble, and you guys see that I'm not working with this company or that company because they don't like that I call them on stuff, but I consider that's my responsibility. So let's see. So let's see if there's any questions here.
Was SB the only company mentioned by the ATF?
Okay, so CB asked this question. He said, was SB the only company mentioned by the ATF? So if you go back to what happened with Q, John, once again, I don't really know who else out there is doing this kind of work that John Crump is doing. So that's why I'm kind of like a little fired up that some people are going after him. John has done work on this. There's at least 4 companies other than Q that got that letter. So can we please give some credit to Kevin Brittingham of Q for being a man and getting up out front of this and saying something about it. No matter what you think about him, he had enough cojones to get up there, even though no matter what he has, the government could take him out. So there's 4 companies. I do not know the name of those companies. I promise you, if I know the name of those companies, I don't care who they are, I will put that out there. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're companies that I deal with and then they get mad at me and they don't want to do anything with me anymore. So be it. Any company who also got these letters that Q got and refused to tell us, I'm not with those guys anymore. And you could call that eating your own if you want to. You could say I'm making their employees suffer. I'm sorry. You need to fight back with the rest of us. It's shameful that you watch Kevin and Alex get up here and fight for you and you don't say shit. Why you don't say anything? Because you want to keep making money. And I've heard that those companies have just quietly taken those things off of their websites and stuff like that. So let's see if there's any other questions. And then Jay Wright is saying, in the FOIA docs, I believe only SB Tactical was mentioned. Yes, in these FOIA documents that just came out. Here's the thing. There's way more. There's more. This story is far from over. We're actually just scratching the surface of what's going on here, and more FOIA documents are coming out. So I would just say be prepared for that. Night Train says, Ammoland is doing a Fox News on us. I hope not. And I left it purposely in a way that you all can decide that. I asked them up front if they're doing that, and they said no. They are in this fight with us, but at the same time, they are not here to take apart SB Tactical. And I agree with that, right? I'm not here to take apart any company, and especially one that already put themselves out there. If SB put themselves out there, I'm not here to take them apart. If Q put themselves out there, I am not here to take them apart. I'm trying to help them. And maybe you all need to get interested enough in this that we're able to do something about it. Let's see. Worminati says, is it true the ATF cannot make or enforce a non-actual law? That's all up to politics. That's the problem with that. Right? A lot of that is up to, they're not supposed to make up their own laws. They're not supposed to make up their own their own rules and things like that. They're supposed to serve a purpose of clarifying that. But they have a lot of power. And what's happening these days is that Republicans don't want to outright go against the Second Amendment. And in a lot of cases, Democrats don't want to do it either. So Democrats are saying that they're going to do that, but they don't want to outright go against it either. So they find this ATF to be a mechanism or a tool that they can use against us. Most of it is mental. Okay, if we believe that they have this power over us, then they do have it. I do not believe they have that power. Now, the Supreme Court is refusing to take up Second Amendment cases. Then I'm saying that it's going to be on the Supreme Court what comes out of this because they refuse to take this up. That's the bottom line on that. Raul Molinado says, so is it okay to buy a brace right now, or I shouldn't buy one? My answer to you on that would be that you're an adult, and what you need to do is look at all this information and make up your mind on what you want to do about that. As I've said here many times before, the ATF has not put out a policy or rule change or any kind of guidance saying this. So it doesn't exist. And so what if they do? The ATF said that bump stocks were fine, right? They said that over and over again. And then at some point they said, oh no, bump stocks now, they're machine guns. The bump stock on its own, even if it's not on the gun, it's a machine gun. Guess who did that? Trump. Okay? So between Trump and the ATF, they went that route. So my answer to you is it could be technically legal today, and tomorrow they can change the rules of the game. But so what? You have to be the one to make up your mind on that. Okay? Win Dagger says, will all these new NFA accessories need to be serialized? I don't know what they're going to do. It doesn't matter to me because I'm not complying with any of that crap. Michael Avens says the new administration hasn't even taken power yet and we already have drama. What are the next 4 years going to be like? It's going to be hell. That's my answer on that. It's going to be hell because they've been waiting for this. And I blame Republicans for that. I blame Trump for that. I don't know. I've been talking about this, and lots of other guys out there have been talking about this for years. And, and so have you guys. And you guys have been mad about it, and we've been trying to do things and get our voice heard. And,
the NRA fell out.
Yeah. Crazy Eyes says, sucks that the main selling point of the SB A3/4 versus like a shockwave blade is the ATF approval letter. It's insane. It's insane. And this kind of stuff, man, is the concept here that we're looking at. I agree with SB Tactical on. It's insanity. They just need to come out and say this is the elements that make a brace. And then people can make braces, and even if you have to go through this stupid approval process, it shouldn't be like a mystery and magic that you go, sir, may I have this? So like I think Lola has some of the SB Tactical stuff over here. So they have to put this on a gun. I can't do it now because YouTube has a stupid ass law about live or whatever. But whatever. I just don't want them to cut us off, right? So. You have to put this on a gun and go to the ATF and say, oh, is this okay? You okay with that? That's the stupid thing that we're dealing with, and what makes it worse is that if you go to them with something that's clearly like a brace or whatever, and in the spirit of the brace, they could go, no, nope. Come back again, and then they don't have to tell you what you did wrong. That sounds like what's happening with YouTube. Like YouTube has been putting age restrictions on our video now. We're like, what? Why is there an age restriction on the video? We're already saying that none of our videos are for kids. Why is there an age restriction? No answer. It's because they feel like it. It's just another tool they can use against you. So everyone is on the same page here of what they're going to do to us, and we all need to decide what we're actually going to do about it. So Justin Miller says, what companies do you think it is? I don't know.
Speculate.
I mean, if I speculate here, people start going after companies, that's wrong. So, but I guarantee you, when I have proof of what companies it is, I will let you know. So And I would suggest to those companies, if they're watching, stop BSing around and come out and let us know what's up. Okay? Because we're going to find out. Everything sees the light of day. Nothing remains hidden forever. Let's see. CB says, I love my Gearhead Works Mod 2 brace. They need to fight too. The whole entire firearms industry needs to fight. Okay? There's no SHOT Show going on. You need to take that money that you would have spent on SHOT Show and invest it in the future of even being able to manufacture guns. That's my message that I would give to any company out there. Take your money and invest it in the future of guns. I don't care if there's not another SHOT Show for the next 10 years. Take all that money and put it into fighting for the Second Amendment. Don't give it to people like NSSF and then they just go have some meetings and go play golf or whatever nonsense. Don't give it to the NRA and then they go buy suits and all that kind of stuff. Nope. Actually identify the people and organizations out there that are truly fighting and do something about this, and you yourself get into the fight, because I want to see who's actually committed to it. So let's see. Snake Doctor says, no, if they change their ruling, you will have to register and pay $200 tax stamp. You don't have to do anything, so that's, because now they can just make changes whenever they want to. And ultimately, it's like freaking Darth Vader, right? Remember the deal that Lando Calrissian made with Darth Vader? And then he said, hey, this wasn't in the deal. And Darth Vader said, just pray I do not alter it any further. What the hell? That's the same nonsense that we're dealing with when it comes to the ATF. And at some point, you have to say, yo, I don't care what rules you make, man. It doesn't matter to me. So, Chris Billa says, just keep us informed. Rob Sush says, you can't register something that doesn't have a serial number. The Rhino Autobot says 21 is looking real ugly. Do you have any?
Our friend Dave Kiwaka says, with things like SHOT and NSSF, and GOAs and are not having shows, how long can those groups even last?
I think that's a good question. Let me see. Where's Dave's? Is it way down?
There you go.
Yeah. Right okay. There. So let's throw this up there.
So right now the
this
GOA
is from Dave.
Is fighting.
Yeah, with things like SHOT, NSSF, and GOAs and NRAs not having shows, how long can these groups even last? How long should they last? Like, what are we actually doing at these shows? I mean, SHOT Show, I appreciate SHOT Show because I get to go there and I get to see things that perhaps we'll put up on the channel. I'll be honest with you guys, a lot of companies don't deal with me. Just straight up. A lot of companies tell me, oh, this is all about the numbers and all of that, which I get. I understand. I'm not mad about it. So I like to spend my money or the money that some of you folks out there put forward to help support us to go to SHOT Show so I could see things and say, oh, you know what? Maybe we'll spend money on this. We'll do this. Okay. The problem is it's an enormous opportunity that they have at SHOT Show to organize better. And they don't take advantage of that. Okay. They just really don't. It's just, it's wasted, I think, every year when they could do things. They can set aside rooms for us all to get together and help each other. If you're a local store, I'll be happy to talk to you and tell you how you can keep your store in business. If you're a company and you don't know how to communicate with your customers out there, I'll be happy to tell you how to do that. There's different organizations that will be happy to talk to different companies and say, we need help doing this, right? But they don't take advantage of that, so they don't deserve to exist that much longer. I don't see it happening at NRA either. I mean, the famous thing that NRA did a few years ago is they disinvited USCCA from the event because they were getting into they were getting into Carry Guard, their own insurance, so they kicked out the USCCA. And fast forward to today, NRA just settled, with New York because they were illegally selling insurance. And they agreed not to do it, but they kicked out the USCCA already. And then they're like, oh, everyone should get with us and don't try to cancel us, help us out. You cancel people first. That's the problem. And that's funny to me. That's the same thing I see with Black Rifle Coffee. They canceled the guy from the Blaze, the reporter from the Blaze. They canceled him first. They basically canceled by distancing themselves from Rittenhouse. And then they're like, everybody in the gun community is trying to cancel us. No, I'm not trying to cancel them. I'm just trying to say, hey, I can see what you're up to, and I'm not happy about it. And I have the right to say that. So let's see. Alex Cell 33 says, let's stop complying with the NFA. You know, all of this stuff is totally useless if the Supreme Court and our lawmakers are not going to stand up for us. It's all useless. That's what I say. Okay. Born to be a shooter, Josh says Republicans should just go ahead and impeach Biden ahead of time for a litany of past crimes, as well as trying to force government agency who has no authority to ban stuff. That's conspiracy. Yeah, I mean, I guess you know, they could play those tactics. I don't know, man. Kermit Loves Bacon says, what do you do if your state laws will not allow SBRs and stuff made after 1994? The state doesn't have the right to do that to you. As an American, you have the right to your constitutional, obviously all of your constitutional rights, including the Second Amendment. And any state, which I know there's a ton of states doing that, they are in violation of the Second Amendment and the Constitution. And they're able to do that, and they've been doing that for years because we're taking it. And we're taking it because we're not really organized. We're just supporting the companies and buying their shit, and we're just giving our money to the NRA and letting them ball out on the money that we're giving them. And ultimately, we're all abdicating our responsibility. And that's what I'm trying to say to people. Like, at some point, we have to grow up, stop abdicating our responsibility, stop letting the chosen few treat us like children, and decide what we should know and what we shouldn't know. I don't care who those people are. If anyone is out there telling me you shouldn't talk about this, whatever, dude. Okay? That's nonsense. That's nonsense. That's how we got here. Okay? The special chosen people have not done what they're supposed to do. So we should be over that now. Shooting Gallery, and he says, I don't think they rely that much on the shows. I think ultimately the shows are just a way to write off money, and that's why they aren't really trying to do things. So
most shows where business is done and sales are made.
Right.
Here.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of things, a lot of comments I see from folks out there. I don't know if there's any. Is there another comment?
No, but we can wrap it up with what to do next.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of what to do next stuff that I see Lola showing me that these guys are talking about. Red Bear says they cry out as they strike you. Listen, is there anyone out there that wants to ask me what to do? My thing, getting in touch with these people, look, I don't want to say no to that, right? I don't want to say just forget talking to these people. I think, there's a thing going on in Georgia, and I'm trying to help with that. But I get a lot of people saying, why should we trust these Republicans? And I agree with that. We need evidence that we should trust them. Okay? But we should try to do some things before we have to make the ultimate choice here. But I think that we're getting closer to we have to prepare for the ultimate choice to come down. Because obviously our lawmakers, including Republicans, including the president in the White House right now, is not intending on doing anything about this. The Supreme Court is not intending on doing anything about this, and so they are forcing our hand. At this, as we only have basically two choices here: comply or don't comply. That's where we're going. So I really just want to thank everyone for joining. We've done this for a while now. I appreciate there's 200 people hanging out here, and this was a complete this is, Stephen S. says there's FOIA docs on the link. Have fun. There's going to be more FOIA stuff. We're going to get mad. I see everyone is out there buying guns and doing all that, and I'm all for it, but I think you need to get ready. You need to prepare for Actual stuff is going to happen here. And the thing to do is the first place they cut us off is communication. So make sure that you have a way to communicate with people. I put up my phone number out there. You guys can find it easily. I'm on Parler and I'm on Minds and I'm on all the alternatives and stuff like that. And we just need to, especially I would say, think about where you live. I know I live in Florida and I live in a 2A sanctuary county, and I think that has some merit, but you need to start thinking about being organized with your brothers and sisters that live around you, that believe the same way that you do. Make sure that your sheriffs are supporting you, and get ready, because they're coming for us because they're seeing that we're not willing to do anything. So at some point we're going to have to be willing to do something, which is unfortunate. I've said to you guys in the beginning of this, I have a family. I have 2 sons. I don't want them to live in this world that these guys want to make. So I'm going to have to fight, even if that means that I won't exist after that. So I think that's it, Lola, right? All right. Thanks so much, guys. I'm going to leave this up here. If you guys want to share it, I appreciate that. If you want to add your comments and things like that, I appreciate it. And I will see you all next week. Please, have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't let these people tell you that you can't hang out with your family and friends. That's nonsense. Don't fall for that. Don't go for it. Hang out with your family and friends and love them and appreciate them. And I love and appreciate all of you guys out there. Thanks so much for taking the time. Lola and I are going to try to go back to what we were up to here. I'm out of here, guys. Thanks so much. Peace.